Today we're going to talk about the 10 best sites to resell on right now in 2020. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about the 10 best sites to sell on for reselling. Now there's many other sites, but these top 10 are the ones that we use and touch on the most and that bring us decent money in. Now the top two for the type of things that we sell, vintage and new or otherwise, are Amazon #1 and eBay #2. Those slots haven't changed for years. Amazon is still the best place to sell on no matter what for us. Everything that's NOS that we can sell on Amazon sells better there than what it would be on eBay. Now again, those are new items. Vintage items are a mix. It just depends on what we are selling. You got to know what sells best on which platform when you're doing this sort of business. So certain things I can get more money out of on Amazon, even vintage things like vintage 78 records go for more money on Amazon than they do on eBay for the most part. Certain items sell on other platforms as well, better than that, but in general, Amazon is the best choice. Now, eBay is the second choice for many different reasons. One, it has the best marketplace for vintage items. It's the best one on the globe that I know of. It's religiously, over and over again, returning a decent amount of profit for us over and over all the time. Very comparable to anything else that we do. I would always recommend putting eBay on your list at some point. Again, it depends on what you sell. You may just be in a wholesale and NOS, and you may not have an issue and just want to do Amazon. It's got to be tailored towards your own specific business. eBay is good for many things. Many times you'll be gated on something on Amazon and you'll have to have a secondary source to list it on. eBay is great for that. And as I said, vintage, antiques, collectibles, eBay is still the best source to sell those at, hands down over any other platform. Now my list is kind of geared towards what we sell. So Etsy is another one in the top 3 on my list. Etsy will get you a good return on your investment as long as you're selling vintage items such as crafts and things like that. Vintage in general, antiques and collectibles sell very well on Etsy also. Etsy does have different rules, so you have to know how it works. You're basically paying for 4 months at a time, 5 cents a listing, so you've got to do them 4 months at a batch. So you got to just know the differences in what will sell and what won't sell in certain platforms. Now for many, Poshmark is another site that many people do use. Poshmark is mostly clothing, as most people know who have been on there. Now we have tried it. Nothing wrong with the platform. It just wasn't for me. I'm not a clothing person. I don't like the sharing in the closet and the whole works. So it wasn't for me. I'm not saying it's not a good platform. It's right up there in the top for what I have seen personally that works for people. There's tons of people that are making some good money over and above any other site selling just on Poshmarks. Again, it's mostly clothing, so if you're a clothing seller, that would be a good source for sure, with eBay right up there tied, or even maybe a little higher with eBay. Now, Crary is another one of those sites that's newer. They do offer multiple different things. You can sell home goods and things like that. Again, it goes back to what you sell. It's a great platform for many people. Some people are saying it rivals their eBay sales as of now. Of course, it depends on what you sell. If you're not selling certain items, there may be no need for you to branch out to many of these different platforms. Now, another one we use is Discogs. Now, that may not be relevant to anybody out there that doesn't mess with records. Discogs is a media site. It's mostly just records. Tons of vintage records up there, in all honesty. It rivals eBay in many aspects for the type of material you can run into. Now, we do better on the lower end stuff on Discogs, but on eBay or Amazon, pretty much the sky's the limit on whatever you would like to sell on there. It just depends on your business structure and what you are selling. Some people may just want to sell on one site. Some people want to branch off. It's all up to you on what you do. Now, the Hit platform is another one that we use. Now, Hit platform is 3 basic sites. It used to be a massive stamp site that they bought out, and they've expanded it. So they've got Hip stamps, Hip postcards, and Hip comic books. And there's millions and millions of listings on each one of those Hip platforms. We've got thousands up on those platforms. So it is a viable means to get some extra money, and it works very well for us. We've been very happy with the site, the structure, and how it works. It's a little different than eBay. It does have some key features that eBay has, while it does miss some things such as being able to mail straight out from there. But other than that, I have no real issues with the site whatsoever. We've been very, very happy with that one as well. And as I said, it depends on what you sell. If it's not in your areas, you probably won't even touch those sites. Now, Instagram is another option to sell on. Instagram does offer you the options to sell things on it. We have a marketplace on Instagram right now. It does fairly well from what I have seen. You have the opportunity to post stories out and list and sell that item at any given point. So that is a key thing there that I would look at. It does work. I do know people who make some considerable amounts of money from posting to Instagram. Now, right up there is Facebook. Same similar thing. They have a marketplace. You can buy and sell on there as well now, too. So, that's another option. Everybody uses it. If it's certain things that you can share in groups and things like that, you have the opportunity to market them at the same time. Got to follow the rules on the groups that you're in and things along that line as well. There are other options. As I said, you can have a marketplace storefront on Facebook just like Instagram. Shopify for us, if you've been following my channel, is one of those things that we've been digging into and expanding through right this very second. So I don't have the income coming in from Shopify yet, but I can see the potential. So it's 100% something we're throwing everything into to get this expanded for our business. Now, I've got a few honorable mentions. Now, these aren't necessarily in the top, but they're heavily and quickly gaining ground. Now, Walmart's on that list too. Now, some people may not want to mess with something like that, but it does have potential. It does offer some opportunities depending on what you sell once again. Ruby Lane's another one. It's not nearly in the top 10, but in certain niches, certain types of vintage antiques, Ruby Lane can do very well. The costs are a little higher than other sites, but it is a niche market. If you're in a certain niche, you can do extremely well there over other sites. They have a very die-hard following there. And the last honorable mention I'd like to shout out is for Craigslist. There are many opportunities to sell many big and bulk items or to sell smaller and meet in public places to get cash straight on out. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 10. Those are some of the sites that we have used and tried and can see some success with. So those are ones we would recommend. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit that bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Godzilla, Ebirah, and Mothra in one of the most explosive action pictures ever to hit the screen. From the depths of the ocean comes the most terrifying horror of the deep. From within the mountain caves comes the dreaded monster Godzilla. See the most titanic battle ever screened when the monster of the deep challenges the mighty Godzilla.